Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo. Damn it. I forgot my trash fan. I need my trash fan today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube. I don't feel good today, and this fan keeps on dropping. I'm YouTube. Famous now. That was like such... I'm just going to say, everybody else says what they want to say on... What's in my eye? Oh my God. Is it a fuzzy from Jaclyn Hill's lipsticks in my eye? I'm just going to say what... Listen, if I say one crude or sassy thing over here, people are like, oh my God, did you see what Peter said? Canceled. That fan flip, I caught it in my finger. What is this intro? People are either living for this intro. The people that have watched me forever, hey, how are you? Some people are living for this intro, and other people are like, I came over here for Trisha Paytas and Jeffree Star drama, and it is 23 seconds in, and the drama hasn't started yet. Where is the drama, please? Can we timestamp this? I have very serious things that I need to do today, like be on Twitter all day long. So let's start over the intro. Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course, now I can't remember my intro. Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Peace. Peekaboo. Hi, how are you? I don't know. Rock on, gold dust woman. Okay, let's just F the intro today. So anyway, let's get into this video. I have a list of videos that I want to make this week. Do you guys want to hear all the videos that I'm going to make this week over here? Drama videos? Well, actually, today's video was going to be about, you're lucky, okay? Because I said on Monday I was going to return with the drama. But then I fell down the rabbit hole because somebody sent it to me. I hardly ever go over the TikTok. The only time I ever go on the TikTok is to research, investigative researcher of the world that I am, to research something for a video, or somebody sends me like a rescue dog TikTok or something like that. That's the only reason I ever go over to the TikTok. I hate the TikTok. But somebody this weekend sent me this thing, and they said, have you seen about the Nutter Butter TikTok page? And I was like, what? I love a good Nutter Butter. The word just sounds gross, doesn't it? Nutter Butter. But I do. I love the Nutter Butters, okay? And so I was like, what is this? And so I put in like Nutter Butter on TikTok, and it's always people talking about the Nutter Butter, like their TikTok page. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go over and I'm going to look at it. And so I started looking at the Nutter Butter TikTok. Have y'all seen this? I'm going to do a whole video about it, okay? But like, seriously, I don't know, like, everybody's asking, like, are they nuts, or are they genius, okay? Like, they don't really know, but what they do know, pretty much for sure, is that I think that the entire marketing team over at Nutter Butter is dosing on a regular basis, okay? It's some weird shit, okay? It's some weird shit. It's like, imagine, like, for Halloween, they did this one, and it was, like, the Stanley Hotel from The Shining, and it was, like, Johnny from The Shining, and, like, the little twin girls, you know, in the hallway, they're like, what's the kid's name? I don't know, but Johnny, come and play with us, or whatever, and then all that kind of stuff. But just imagine all the actors in The Shining being Nutter Butters, okay? People have, like, they're like, what is going on with Nutter Butter? Nutter Butter has lost their mind. And then people also sent me about the Christmas decorations over on TikTok that you can buy. Have you guys seen this? I don't even understand it, okay? I'm so confused about it. I don't even understand it. So that was going to be the video that you were going to get today, right? But I was like, nah. I got to follow notes over on my Peter Watches TV channel for Sister Wives, because last night was Sister Wives, and so Mondays are my Sister Wives videos. In case you didn't know, I have a TV channel called Peter Watches TV, just like I have a booktube channel called Peter Likes Books, and then I have another channel called Peter Does Stuff, okay, and then I have Peter Isms, which is all my isms, and then I have Peter Vlogs, that's where I vlog, that's why it's called Peter Vlogs, and then I have Peter Reviews Stuff, where I review stuff. But on my Peter Watches TV channel, is that 7 channels? I got 7 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and this one, Peter Monn. But on my Peter Watches TV channel, I'm like covering a lot of TV shows over there, reality TV shows, true crime, all the trending news shows. Right now I'm watching Cross, based on the James Patterson, Alex Cross novels on Amazon Prime. Oh my God, it is so good. My friend Tanya Jean, she said, you've got to watch this show. I've got 3 more episodes left. It's 8 episodes first season. It already got renewed and it's only been out 3 days. It is so good. If you like thrillers, go watch Cross on Prime. It is unbelievable. It is so good. So anyway, but Mondays over there, Sister Wives Day, because on Sunday nights it's Sister Wives, and I take notes. I like sit there and I watch it and I take notes the whole time on my phone. So it's very well researched over there, and opinions, and a lot of imitations. You know how like Trisha Paytas, she does cosplay. I don't do cosplay. I just do imitations. Oh, you know what I did do over there one day though? I did put on little Boo Radley. I did put on little Boo Radley's his blanket on my head, and I moved it around like I was Cody Brown from Sister Wives. But Trisha Paytas does cosplay. I do imitations. Sometimes over my Sister Wives videos, I do imitations of Christine. Sometimes I do imitations of Cody Brown, talking about the knife in my kidney. All my love wasted on you. Sometimes I do imitations of Sob and Robin sitting on her floor, like Trisha Paytas' bathroom floor on Christmas Eve, because her family it's all falling apart. But anyway, sometimes I do imitations of the Sister Wives over there. But I have a lot of shows I cover, okay? I cover the alien shows, the true crime, the trending ones. I just talked about, keep it a secret, okay? Keep it a secret. Elsbeth and Matlock, which are 2 of my new favorite shows. Because I'm old, you know, because I'm old. I'm the old man at YouTube. I like to get my cup of coffee, and I like to watch my Elsbeth, and I like to watch my Matlock, and I like to play solitaire on my phone while I'm doing it, because I'm old. See, that's what you do when you're old. You watch Matlock and Elsbeth. The new Matlock with Kathy Bates, not the old Matlock. That's trash. But anyway, I don't know. I never watched it, really. But I do think it's trash. So anyway, the new Matlock, okay, with Kathy Bates and Elsbeth. Oh my God, I love Elsbeth so much. But anyway, and then 1,000 Pound Sisters, I watch that, and then I cover that on Wednesdays. That's my Wednesday show over there. So if you like to watch TV shows, you got to go over to my Peter Watches TV channel. It's real fun over there. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I haven't felt great the last couple days. I don't know what's going on, okay? Like, I'm trying to, like, today I was like, I don't feel like I'm going to make a whole lot of videos. And then I was like, no, just power through, make a couple videos, and you'll feel better on the other side. See, I'm already feeling better already. See, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm getting sick. I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, just power through. So today, because I've done a lot of research on this whole Nutter Butter scandal, I'm telling you right now, some of the stuff these people come up with on the TikTok, okay? They said back in the day, all his drama channels, I would say something, you know, like Jeffree Star was a racist, because there would be like actual video footage of him saying racist things, and people would be like, that's a reach! And then people are coming out about scandals about Christmas ornaments and Nutter Butter. But that's not a reach, right? That's not a reach at all. It might be a reach around. I don't know. But anyway, so I have this list of videos over here. Where is it at? Here's my videos this week, starting on 11/18. I got them. See, I got them. I'm organized, okay? I'm professional. I'm professional over here. I got drama videos, Jeffree and Tana podcast. Well, I'm still working through that, which is why you're getting this video today, okay? And then, should Trisha post the Jeffree podcast? Because that's what this video is today, because I've seen a lot of people talking about that. The Deaf Noodles, the return of Deaf Noodles and his AI channel, and Irrelevant News or whatever. Halo Beauty launching makeup, okay? And then Brianna Chicken Fry. Now, that Brianna Chicken Fry video, I might be doing with my cousin Caroline, okay? Because I don't really know a whole lot about Brianna Chicken Fry. So if you have other topics you'd like me to talk about, put it in the comment section below, okay? You want to know what my videos are on my other channels? I'll give you a whole rundown. Okay, on my Peter Does Stuff channel, that's where I do stuff. Not real deep, okay? Today, we're going to do a huge haul, an Amazon haul, and hauls of some other things. I got coffee cups, and I got all kinds of fun stuff over there. Okay. Choose Your Own Adventure. It's going to be so much fun. And then I'm going to show all my wax melts. I said it gets real deep. That's tomorrow, okay? I'm going to show all my wax melts that I'm getting ready to throw out because they ain't no good no more. And I don't even listen. People over there are already telling me in my vlog, they're like, add essential oils. Listen, I ain't got nobody got time for that, okay? I'm not doing a bunch of DIY in my kitchen, things like that. Well, Glitter Forever 17, she can do that. Okay. And then on Wednesday, I'll probably do a shopping haul because that's Cousin Fun Day. And then Thursday's my weight loss journey update, okay, which is basically a maintenance journey at this time. point. And then Friday is movie club. So on Fridays, I haven't done it for a couple weeks, but on Fridays, I announce a movie, like a nostalgic movie, and then we all watch it together. This week's movie that I have picked out, oh my God, it's one of my favorites from high school. It is so good. It is so good. I want to give a hint, but as soon as I give the hint, it'll give it away. So anyway, and then on my review channel, I'm going to review, I got lip balms to review over there. And I've got leftover Halloween junk. I'm so professional, it says leftover Halloween junk right here. And then the Burger King pickle fries. And then these new pretzels, the Snickerdoodle, and the hot cocoa pretzels. I gotta get those first, okay? And then on my TV channel, I got Sister Wives, 1,000-Pound Sisters, Escape at Dan Mora, because I finished that this weekend, Grotesquerie, and Teacup. And then on my BookTube channel, I got to announce the December books for True Crime Book Club. For those of you that don't know, okay, I have a True Crime Book Club that I run with my good Judy Mel. Hey, Mel, how are you? And then I also have Peter's Book Club, okay, where every month we read a book together. It's just usually a mystery or a thriller. And next month, it's a holiday thriller. It's going to be, I'm so excited about it. And then I got to do my review of was it October? Yes, the October Book Club, which was the night we lost him. And then I made a list of all the Christmas mystery thrillers that I'm going to be reading this year. Nine Christmas thrillers. And then I got a special project. I'm doing 2 special projects I'm doing on my BookTube channel. So see, listen, we're active over here, okay? We got, 7 channels, and we keep them pumping out all the time. But today we're going to talk about, should Trisha post the Jeffree podcast? Okay, so let me tell you how this all came to be. I'm like, do I got some lip gloss or something over here? I don't. But anyway, so this is what came up. Okay, so I talked the other day, I did like a Q&A, and I talked on there about how Jeffree Star was on the Tana podcast. Is Brooke Schofield part of that, or is she just a seat filler? I don't know anything about that Brooke Schofield girl, okay? Is it Schofield? Is it Schofield? I don't care about her, okay? I don't know. People ask me about these people all the time. They're like, well, you're a drama channel. I don't care, okay? I don't know her. I don't care about her. I've seen that there's a lot of drama with her and her ex, and don't care, okay? Don't care at all. What happened to Charlie D'Amelio? She's still around. When I say that, somebody will be like, oh my God, Charlie D'Amelio. I don't care. Don't care about Charlie D'Amelio, okay? But anyway, so apparently, I covered this in my last video, but a Jeffree Star drama was that he went on Tana Mojo's podcast, okay? He was sitting all side saddle with his, like, platform boots on and his hair by J-wig and things like that. He looked pretty, I thought. But anyway, I mean, it looked like kind of like a Party City wig that you get for Halloween with, like, the streaks. I'm not real big into the chunky highlights, but I guess Jeffree Star is. I guess he's real into the chunky highlights and things like that. His wig actually looked like he had those clip-in, those clip-in things. My mother-in-law, she had one of those in for Halloween, okay? She got brown hair, and then she had, like, one purple one. She thought it was real funny. Jeffree Star thinks it's style, but my mother-in-law, she thought it was real funny. But anyway, she kept on flipping it around and stuff like that. I lived. But anyway, that he was sitting all side saddle and things like that on the couch, and then he kept on losing his pop pen. Because, of course, you got to be high 24 hours a day if you're Jeffree Star, because you got to live in delusion constantly, And I ain't dogging nobody that's got to get high 24 hours a day. Do your thing, okay? But you might not want to go on a canceled podcast. So anyway, so he goes in this podcast, and I'm like halfway through this podcast, okay? Honestly, girl, it is so boring. It is so boring to sit there and listen to Tana Mojo and Jeffree Star sit there and talk about what they act like they don't know, okay? First of all, Tana Mojo's like, oh yeah, I'm like, girl, you should go on the Full Coverage podcast, okay? Because you like have the same kind of conversation skills that they do. So anyway, Tana Mojo, first of all, wants to act like she ain't part of this drama. I think people don't remember kind of how much Tana actually was part of Dramageddon, okay? Because do y'all not remember the Gage friendship and all that kind of stuff and the lead up to James Charles and all that? Tina was a huge part of that, okay? Tina, like, unfriended James Charles, and friended James Charles, and unfriended James Charles, then said to Ethan Klein that she was going to call in and disavow James Charles. She still hasn't done that. And then she played poker with Ethan Klein, and then Ethan Klein didn't call her out about that. And then she said she's going to, I guess we don't really care about predators. I guess talking about predators is just conversation for drama, okay? I guess that's just the point, right? And so... So she acts like she don't really know a lot of what's going on, and then Jeffree Star wants to rewrite history. Okay, that's him on the Tana podcast. It's like, well, when we were doing all that, like Shane and I were just trying to release a palette. We weren't really even paying attention to what the drama was. Girl. Okay, seriously, let me just run this down for you, okay? Because I was not in the know. But let me just tell you that 10 minutes, they are blowing our leaves out in our backyard today. Listen. That's kind of ASMR, isn't it? I kind of like the ASMR sometimes, but anyway. But 10 minutes before Tati Westbrook dropped her video, I had 2 separate drama channels call me and say, one of them told me that Jeffree Star called them and told them that, okay? The other person alluded to the fact that it was Jeffree Star and said Tati Westbrook's getting ready to drop a video. That was her first video, okay? And I was like, what are you talking about? I can remember where I was standing and everything, okay? I can remember the whole rundown of it, all right? And whenever I say this, people are like, why are you bringing up this person's name? Well, I won't bring up that person's name today. But another person that I knew, okay, another drama channel, she was going to be making this huge expose over Tati Westbrook. What I didn't know was that Tati Westbrook had let her know that the video was going to drop. So all these people were in the know about it, okay? And the 3 people that were the most in the know about it were Tati Westbrook, Shane Dawson, and Jeffree Star, okay? Because Jeffree Star was calling drama channels and telling them that the video was coming out. And I know that for a fact because 2 of them called me and said, get ready, this video is going to drop in 10 minutes. Oh, they already have their videos made, okay? They didn't call me till those videos were made. And I was like, how do you know? And, oh, Jeffree Star. Okay, and then I found out later after the fact that Tati Westbrook had been calling drama channels too. Now, she came out later and said that she had been working with 2 drama channels, okay? So for Jeffree Star to get in a podcast and say, oh, we didn't know anything about it at the time, bullshit, okay? That's 100% bullshit. What you didn't know was that Tati Westbrook, okay, was going to put up her second video. And that's what he kind of addresses in the video. He's like, that second video, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Well, what had happened behind the scenes was that James Charles had gotten in Tati Westbrook's ear, okay? And that's the video where she's like reading legal and all this kind of stuff because she's like scared, she's like, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that was the second video that she did. She actually did 3 videos talking about Dramageddon. The last one was where she talked about her and James Charles and he wanted to sit here next to me and, oh my God, and Jeffree Star's going to come for us. You better watch out. Jeffree Star's going to come for us. He's going to tell a bunch of lies. Well, I didn't know it was going to take 5 years for Jeffree Star to tell a bunch of lies on Tati Westbrook. But now he's talking about she's a horrible person. How's she a horrible person, Jeffree Star? What's she horrible for? Because she tried to come out and tell the truth? This is what I have always thought, okay? And a lot of the pictures behind the scenes add up to me about this. And whenever I talk about this, and people are like, nobody cares about Dramageddon anymore. Well, apparently they do, okay? Because that Tana Mojo podcast is getting a lot of attention, and a lot of people are talking about it. And the highlight of that is him talking about Dramageddon, okay? And now he's going on the Trisha Paytas podcast. And so you think he's not going to talk about Dramageddon on there too? Okay, so it's him bringing up old stuff because he ain't got nothing to keep him relevant anymore. So if you can watch on the Mojo podcast, you can watch on the Trisha Paytas podcast, you can watch Peter Monn talk about Dramageddon, okay? So what's interesting to me, though, is that he's talking about how Tati Westbrook's a horrible person. Well, if you look at Jeffree Star's definition of what a horrible person is, because he said it about every other one of his friends, a horrible person to Jeffree Star is when you don't get in line and do exactly what Jeffree Star wants you to do. And in that moment, Tati Westbrook crossed a line with Jeffree Star. What she said is, I am no longer going to do what you want me to do, okay? I am no longer the person that's going to, you're not keeping me no more, okay? I'm going to come out and I'm going to tell my truth. I've always thought this from the very beginning, okay? That Tati Westbrook, if you go back to when she was playing game nights with Jeffree Star and did the video in the airplane with him where they were doing their makeup, do you remember? And then they both bought the same earrings, and then Jeffree Star acted like he didn't remember where he got those earrings. He got them with Tati Westbrook, okay? This goes back and is so deep. This is where they act like they don't remember this shit. If I remember it, how do you not remember it when it was your life, okay? I think Tati Westbrook was like, to get me to the next point of relevance, I gotta hang out with some of these people even though I don't want to. I gotta hang out with the Mannies and the Lauras and the Gabriels and Moras and the Jeffree Star and things like that even though I don't want to. I have to, okay? So she did start doing that. And if you remember, when she did the video with Jeffree Star initially in the airplane, Tati Westbrook got a lot of backlash, okay? People were like, why are you hanging out with Jeffree Star, blah, 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 blah. So all these years later, for Jeffree Star to get in the podcast and say that Tati Westbrook is a horrible person, can you give us evidence to why that is? Oh, because Tati Westbrook came out with these allegations about James Charles, then cleared him up at the end, and at the very end said that she has evidence to prove it, and then unfollowed James Charles, and has never come out and spoken about it yet. So a lot of people say that Tati Westbrook is the one that basically is a predator protector because she's never come out and said what she knows about James Charles and why she ultimately unfollowed him. But wouldn't the same go for Jeffree Star? Because Jeffree Star has put out tweets. He has said in podcasts like Keemstar's Basement podcast, Logan Paul's podcast, he's played it for those people behind the scenes, the voice note and things like that. We all know who the voice note's from. Everybody knows who the voice note is, okay? Everybody in the world knows who the voice note is. But Jeffree Star claims to have kicked him out of his house because he was making his boyfriend at the time uncomfortable, and all this other knowledge, why don't you come out and say it? Is it because James Charles has shit on you, Jeffree? Are you saying racist things that if James Charles came out with that, it would ruin your career because people would actually probably listen to him? Is it that you're actually a little bit afraid still of James Charles because other people have shit on you, Jeffree Star? Why don't you come out? Okay, because then you're no better than Toddy Westbrook, is how I feel about it. Okay, anybody keeping James Charles secrets at this point, you're no better than the rest, okay? Because if you really cared about these victims, and if you really cared about the issue at hand, you keep throwing it out, you quit throwing it out there as drama, and you would actually prove what you got, okay? But they don't. They keep on hinting at it, right? So for them, it's just a way to make sales. So you're throwing up this stuff and bringing it up to boost sales for your new Pallet release. So the victims of James Charles are still being used by Jeffree Star for Pallet releases? Is that, I'm confused. Is that true? Is it not true? Why are you still bringing it up and saying people don't know what's going on at the time? Oh, by the way, in that video, that drama series that you said that you weren't even following the drama, well, Shane Dawson was following the drama at that time. In fact, people thought that his whole entire conspiracy palette, The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star, that whole documentary was actually going to be about the drama. I got a lot of comments about that at the time, that people said that he was going to turn the whole thing in about the drama. And if you remember, Shane Dawson didn't even really end the series the way that he wanted to because he got so stressed out about becoming the drama, okay? Now, part of that is that y'all contrived and flew a drama channel out there and made it look like y'all were sitting there watching the Toddy Westbrook video when it dropped. But in actuality, that was 4 days later, wasn't it? That you flew that drama channel out there. So when you want to say that you didn't know about the drama and you weren't paying attention to it, you and Shane were just, no, that's the story you want to tell to the people that are still hanging on to you, okay? But that's not the truth at all. You and Shane were integral parts of Dramageddon. If it actually hadn't been for you and Shane, Dramageddon probably would never have happened, okay? So when you want to talk about it was getting Shane and introducing him to the people, I think you and Shane were having a lot of conversations behind the scenes. You wanted to take down James Charles. You got Toddy Westbrook. You knew people would listen to Toddy Westbrook. You had her go do your bidding. It ruined Toddy Westbrook's career for a while, okay? While you and Shane were just releasing a Pallet. It got rid of James Charles over there, all right? And then you guys released your Pallet, and then it's, what did you say on the Tina podcast? It was the biggest release in influencer makeup history or something like that to this day. But if James Charles was around, that probably wouldn't have happened. Not to mention, several years before that, James Charles had contacted myself and another drama channel about a documentary that he was doing that was 10 episodes of him showing the behind the scenes of friendships in the makeup industry, designing a palette, and then the very last episode was going to be his release of the Morphe palette. But when Shane Dawson got involved in that, Shane Dawson told James Charles he didn't think that was a good idea and he shouldn't do that documentary. Interesting that you guys turned around like a year later and started filming the documentary that James Charles said. So you had to get James Charles out of the way. That's the piece that I don't think people really understand about Dramageddon, okay? Is that you had to get James Charles out of the way for you guys to make your video and sell all the sales. So when I say that it's a cash grab, okay? It's a cash grab, but it was also, you had to get all these players out of the way, okay? You had to discredit Manny and Laura and Gabriel Zamora. You had to discredit them so that nobody would listen to them, okay? And you had to get James Charles out of the way. Toddy Westbrook fucked that up for you when she came out with her second video, all right? Because you don't talk about the first video, you talk about the second video. Well, the second video was when she came out against you and Shane. What it is that Toddy hasn't told the whole story. And I don't think Toddy will tell the whole story, okay? But when you want to repaint history, there's a lot of us, because I was just talking to some of them this week, that were like, oh yeah, I was like fact-checking. I was like, I remember this correctly, right? Because I've got the receipts of this. And they're like, oh yeah, 100% that's how it went down. And we remember it all, so I'm not sure how you don't remember it all, okay? But nonetheless, okay, you're doing this podcast tour, and a lot of people are saying that Trisha Paytas should never. In fact, they're saying that she hasn't posted your podcast yet because she's worried about the backlash. Because what happened on that podcast was that after you were done filming it, okay, Tina and Brooke were in a Patreon live, and you were on TikTok live filming the whole thing. Now, if y'all haven't seen this scene before, you can go over on TikTok. It's all over TikTok, okay? It is so uncomfortable to watch because Tana and Brooke are in the background, and they're on Patreon Live, and, like, everybody in their comment section is saying, why are you filming with Jeffree Star? Like, he's trash. Why are you doing this, okay? And people are coming for Tana and Brooke and saying, why are you even filming with Jeffree Star, okay? And Jeffree Star's over on TikTok, and he's fully aware of this, and he's like, what? It is so uncomfortable. You can tell the man in that, you can see, really, in that moment, the insecurities of Jeffree Star, that he really realizes that people don't really like him, okay? But how do you turn people not liking you because of your really horrific shit that you've done, like hurt a lot of friends, say a lot of horrific shit, okay? Continue to say a lot of horrific shit to women, talk down to women, okay? When women are the majority of your customers that are buying your makeup, and you really talk down to women, and you still are. I just covered that a couple weeks ago over here on a TikTok. And you do all this kind of stuff, and the racist allegations continue. People still are saying it about you. And so what you do is you turn that into saying, well, I'm a villain, okay? Well, I said this in my last video, and so I'll say it again. I do not know that I believe that a villain is necessarily a racist, okay? But I do think that a racist is probably a villain, all right? And I don't know that a villain is somebody that talks horribly to women or just human beings in general, okay? But I do think that a person that speaks horribly to women and other people is probably a villain, okay? So I don't know why you're using that definition of the internet's always wanted to make me the villain, all right? There's actually a lot of people that really love you, Jeffree Star, but you categorize all these people together. So who are you selling $18 million worth of your shitty makeup to if everybody thinks you're a villain? If the whole world thinks you're a villain, how are you selling all this shit on TikTok? Or are you buying your own shit? I'm just asking, okay? Because it's speculative to me that you're making more money on TikTok selling your shit than anybody else, but you can't sell out of it on your own website. That's very speculative to me, okay? It's also speculative to me when people have sent me numerous screenshots of you in battles tipping yourself. So I don't understand how that works, but I guess it's all smoke and mirrors and you have to appear to be, because you couldn't possibly be. I mean, it's interesting to me, right? Like, you came out because Michaela Nogueira is at the top of her game on makeup on TikTok, right? So you come out and you say that she's a liar and you don't hang with liars because that's the way that you discredit her. But then you turn around and you're going to go on the Tana Mojo podcast. She's a liar. She's a proven liar, okay? How many times has she said that she's going to unfollow James Charles off of Instagram and everywhere else? Or she's going to call it, and she hasn't done any of those things, okay? She hasn't done any of those things. So, hold on just a second. We'll check. Maybe she has. I hope she has. I hope Tana Mojo, I will congratulate her right here. Tana Mojo, let's look it up and see. Tana Mojo, here's her Instagram. Okay. James. Oh, maybe she did unfollow him. James. Oh, no, she didn't. She still follows James Charles on Instagram. You can go check yourself. So, how many times has Tana Mojo said she was going to unfollow James Charles? And she even told Ethan Klein that. That was like 2 years ago. And she still hasn't. But Jeffree Star calls Michaela Nogueira a liar because of a review of lashes, or the Lashgate thing, which I do think is horrible, okay? But Michaela Nogueira lied about makeup, which I think is horrible. I'm not excusing that, okay? But Tana Mojo has lied about unfollowing a predator. But you're okay with that. You'll go on her podcast. And Trisha Paytas has lied about 9 million things, but you'll go on her podcast. But you won't associate with Michaela Nogueira because she's a liar. What you just did was you took away any credibility that you have. You don't really have a lot of credibility left anyway, but you just took away the last few ounces that you did, okay? So now, because so many people were coming for Tana and Brooke and saying that they shouldn't have had you on the podcast, people are saying that Trisha shouldn't post your podcast, okay? Hold on a second. Is this going to stop? Oh, I got 2 minutes left. So let's just stop it right here. Hold on a second. So people are saying that Trisha shouldn't post her podcast because you've already filmed with Trisha Paytas for her Just Trish podcast, and people are saying that she shouldn't post the podcast. And people are speculating that because she hasn't posted it yet, and it was filmed like 2 or 3 weeks ago, that maybe she's second-guessing it, and she's not going to post it. Okay, I think the only podcast that Trisha Paytas filmed and did not post was one of Colleen Ballinger's podcasts, okay? And I do not believe that Trisha Paytas is... I think she's so far behind. Like, she films a podcast and posts them like 2 or 3 months later. Sometimes. So, I don't know that I think that necessarily just because it isn't posted yet doesn't mean that it's not up yet. Actually, I think Jeffree made a deal with her, okay? Because when I made the video the other day, I started getting DMs from a lot of people, and they're like, you know Jeffree has a new release coming out, right? And I was like, no, I was not aware of that, actually. Apparently, it says 10-year release or 20-year, I think it says 10-year release or something. We'll get into that in just a second. I have all the screenshots right here. We'll look it up before I get into this and start talking about it. Guess the name of the Jeffree Star 10th anniversary collection. I don't know. Boring turd? Is it called boring gold turd? I don't know. I don't care, okay? It looks like all the same colors that you have in every other palette. It's just gold, okay, on the same side of it. But anyway, I think he made a deal with Trisha Paytas, okay? The release of his, because so many people in my comment sections and were DMing me, were saying Jeffree Star is doing this podcast tour because he has a palette release. And I thought, you know, this is so 2016 of Jeffree Star. Like, that's not possibly what it is. He's not trying to stir up drama to sell palettes, is he? Like, we don't live in that world anymore. I don't know if Jeffree Star doesn't know that because he's kind of lost relevance and he doesn't really have his finger on the pulse of trends anymore. Like, he doesn't, you know? And so, I mean, Michaela Nogueira has probably more than he does. And I'm not saying she's a great person. I'm just saying Michaela Nogueira probably, I mean, maybe he needs to cozy up to Michaela Nogueira instead of calling her, you know, a bunch of liars. I don't think him cozying up to Trisha Paytas and Tana Mojo is doing him no favors. Okay, let's just say that. But anyway, so people were saying that it was to sell a palette. Well, that's kind of very 2016. Stir some drama up, release a palette. Everybody's interested in the drama. They go buy the palette. I don't think we live in that world today. So when I started getting a bunch of DMs and comments about this, I was like, no, that can't be that. And this is where I always believe that Jeffree Star is a better businessman than he really is. I mean, I went and looked the other day. Jeffree Star is supposedly worth something like $200 million, okay? And I've said this a bunch of times, all right? I think it's more the arrogance, the ego, and the pride that Jeffree Star is not willing to go out, like, on, like, a dull note. Like, just retire. If I had $200 million and I was spending hours battling people on TikTok, which he doesn't even look like he's having a lot of fun because he gets so heated up that he's calling people a bunch of pookies and things like that over there and just screaming and yelling at people, okay? I cannot imagine that it's good for his peace and serenity. If I had $200 million sitting in the bank and my makeup wasn't selling and I was Jeffree Star, no, I'd be done. And I think we already know he's got a ton of investments. His money's going to keep on making money. If I were Jeffree Star, okay, I travel the world. I go to all the fashion shows. Was he at any of the fashion shows this year? I'm not talking about Louis Vuitton, that he buys $1 million of Louis Vuitton for a year so they feel like they have to give him an invitation, even though he said he was done with all the label stuff years ago. I'm talking about fashion shows. He always acts like he's a fashion icon. I did not see him at Fashion Week. I saw James Charles at Fashion Week. I don't know how he gets invited, but I didn't see Jeffree Star. I could be wrong about that. I'm talking about multiple shows, okay? So I saw him in a pink robe calling some woman a pookie, okay? That nobody had ever seen this woman before on TikTok, and it looks like he's sitting in his kitchen drinking a Red Bull. I saw that. And that's how he spends his time. And in all honesty, I think it's kind of sad. For all the people out there that believe that Jeffree Star was a genius, there was a time that I thought he was a genius. I thought he was a creative genius. I really, really did. So to think that that person is now going out selling stuff like QVC, okay, on TikTok, at some point it's not really about the money, okay? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've known really extremely wealthy people in this world, and I've known really, really poor people in this world, okay? And sometimes the happiest people that I know are the ones that have the least because they have the most appreciation for what they have. They have the most gratitude for it. And they seem to be living their best life and being the happiest, okay? Because they're paying their bills and they're getting by, but they're happy and they're not worried about the rest. Jeffree Star seems more concerned. The more that he talks about Michaela Nogueira and going on these podcasts, it's like, if it were me, what I would do is, I would come out with I would have made this my last release. The 10th anniversary release is going to be their last release, okay? And I'm doing this podcast tour, and it's my share final tour, okay? And then I'm closing it down. I'm done. I'm going to sit with my $200 million. But the arrogance and the ego and pride is so important to Jeffree Star that he can't do that, right? So what's going to end up happening to Jeffree Star is, like, he's been hinting out about this book. Everybody said the book was coming out at the beginning of 2024. Well, ma'am, it's November, okay? So when's the book coming out? Is it a Christmas release? Is it coming out with gift as purchase for those mystery boxes that you can't sell? He can't sell the mystery boxes. He can't sell his palettes. He didn't sell out the last palette. He didn't sell the last mystery boxes. Now he's releasing a new palette, the 10-year anniversary. Congratulations on 10 years. If it were me, I would have made a huge moment out of that, okay? I would have made a video on YouTube because he's talking about the launch on YouTube. I would have made it a huge thing. If I had $200 million and my relevance was going down like that, I don't have $200 million. Let's just make that clear, okay? But if I did, and I was spending my time battling people on TikTok that I don't even know, okay? At that point, I don't care how much money I was making. I'd be like, I'm about to live my best life, okay? My money is making me money at this point. I am done doing this, okay? And it's embarrassing as well. So I'm going to host this 10-year anniversary party. I'm going to put a video out on YouTube, the 10 years of my life on YouTube, social media, everything, and all that kind of stuff. And then I would take a year off, and I'd work on that book that he keeps on talking about. But he's so worried about the relevance. That's why he brings up Michaela Nogueira. Because Michaela Nogueira has more relevance than Jeffree Star. And he's so worried about that, right? He wants to always be at the top of his game. That's why he puts out his numbers of how much he made on TikTok. Michaela Nogueira, she doesn't need to do that. You know, people already know, they can see how much she's getting. And I'm not even a Michaela Nogueira fan. He brought her up at some point, you know. That's why he's going on the Tana Mojo podcast. That's why he's going on Trisha Paytas' podcast. So people are saying Trisha should, it's not going to hurt Trisha Paytas to have Jeffree Star on her podcast. I think that's the thing that people don't understand, okay? When Jeffree Star went on Tana Mojo's podcast, okay, it brought Tana Mojo a lot of attention. Her fans were upset with her, but her fans are willing to excuse that she might have one shitty guest on there, okay? So it didn't really hurt Tana in the long run, but what it showed was what a horrible reputation Jeffree Star still has in 2024. That so many of Tana Mojo's fans, okay, many of which are young, they're on podcasts that I would think most of them aren't even aware of who Jeffree Star is, okay? That so many of them were coming for Tana and Brooke for even having Jeffree Star on the podcast. But they're going to go on to other guests, they already have, and people are going to forget about it, and it's not going to hurt Tana Mojo. But what it is it's a sign of where we're at with Jeffree Star in 2024, that people are really, they're still not over his antics from the past. So when Trisha Paytas has them on there, Trisha Paytas has had a lot of problematic people on there, on her podcast. It's not going to hurt Trisha Paytas, okay, at all. No matter what is even said on there, even if she lets him get away with a bunch of shit. The other thing you have to remember is that in the whole situation, and I was kind of surprised, people were like, well, Trisha Paytas lied about Vegas and blah, blah, blah. She did lie about a few things in Vegas, but I think that people also forget that Hair by Jay said horrific things to Trisha Paytas, okay? Commented on her skin, her weight, called her derogatory names as a woman. Well, Jeffree Star, on his newest picture right here, on his newest ad campaign, when you go in here, for his newest thing, you can see right here, he's got everybody tagged, and he's got Lipstick Nick. Well, Lipstick Nick, she's best friends with James Charles and Jaclyn Hill, two of the most problematic people in the beauty industry. Lipstick Nick doesn't have any problem with racists like Jeffree Star, scammers and liars like Jaclyn Hill, or predators like James Charles. He's a self-proclaimed predator. So Lipstick Nick, I think she's one of the most problematic people because she's been around all these people. Oh wait, but who did his hair in the video, in the ad campaign? Hair by Jay. The same person that when pushed into a corner, Jeffree Star said, good morning to everybody except for the guy that did my hair. And then 2 weeks later was posting a picture with Hair by Jay. So you still have Hair by Jay who made some pathetic apology to Trisha Paytas, okay? Trisha has come out and talked about Vegas. She's talked about how she was in Vegas and the condition of who she was in Vegas. She's talked about that, okay? Jeffree Star hasn't really talked about, I mean, he's talked about it, and he's talked horribly about Trisha Paytas and things like that, right? Trisha Paytas isn't going to come out of this smelling like a rose, but she isn't going to look bad. Jeffree Star and Hair by Jay are the people that look like real shits in the situation, if you're being objective to it. So all she's got to do is sit in a chair. Even if she laughs, I saw her do the same thing with Gabby Hanna back in the day. Gabby Hanna made Trisha Paytas so uncomfortable when she was bringing up the issues, and Gabby was like, we're good, girl, we're good, right? And Trisha was like, get me the fuck out of here. I'll never forget, I said that in a video, and Trisha DM'd me and said, you knew exactly how I was feeling in that moment. You could tell. So she'll have Jeffree Star on there, but I think the deal she made him was, I'll release it right before your release. Well, his release is on the 28th, or the 29th. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. He's releasing it. He's releasing it on Black Friday, which is, yeah, the day after Thanksgiving, so it's the 29th. So I think she made a deal with him. Like, he said, I'll come on there, but you got to release it on this day. And I think people really are right, which I think is really sad that Jeffree Star's marketing tactic 8 years later is so dated that he still believes that drama is going to drive his sales. Trisha Paytas will release his podcast, but it will either be that day or days before the Pallet release. And it will heavily, at the end of the podcast, be talking about his Pallet release, the 10-year anniversary, the 10 years on YouTube. It will really hype up the 10 years leading up to this Pallet release. Not just about makeup, but she'll ask him the history of it and all kind of stuff. And I really think the drama between them will be very little of it. And I think when we watch it, what we'll see is Jeffree Star make a half-assed attempt at kind of apologizing to Trisha Paytas, and I think she'll apologize to him too, but it'll be very uncomfortable and very awkward, and you'll see it on Trisha's face. She'll be like how she was on the Gabby Hanna podcast. Like, this is uncomfortable for me. But she knows it's going to get her views. She knows that having Jeffree Star on her podcast is going to get her views. Trisha Paytas is somebody that's always wanted the views, okay? I don't hate her for that. I've said, any YouTuber, any influencer out there that says I don't do it for the views is a bullshitter, okay? Who wouldn't want 10 or 20 million people watching your video? I don't hate Trisha for that, okay? But I hope that Trisha holds her own, because I watched that all go down in real time. And listen, I've held Trisha to the fire before and said, like, she's done a lot of wrong shit. But in that situation, I feel for Trisha Paytas, okay? She had Hair by Jay, Jeffree Star talking mad shit about her, okay? In the middle of a crisis in her life. All right? Not to mention, then she loses her best friend, Shane Dawson, because he's so afraid of his money tie to Jeffree Star that he picks Jeffree Star, his cash cow, over Trisha Paytas, okay? And people don't think that's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal. That is one moment in time that I really feel bad for Trisha Paytas. So the fact that she's having Jeffree Star on here, it'll be interesting to me. I will watch it. It'll be interesting to me. I think she'll either play it up like, we're all good, a lot of time has gone by, like, don't worry about it, is whatever. Because the thing is, Trisha's killing it today on her podcast. She don't need Jeffree Star today. She sure as shit don't need Shane Dawson. Trisha Paytas has made it on her own this far. She don't need them, okay? So she can sit there on her podcast and be territorial with Jeffree Star and a Hair by Jay wig over there, which he will probably wear, a Hair by Jay wig. And that is a complete diss, right? On her own podcast, because he made some Hair by Jay, because the only way that Hair by Jay was going to be able to continue to work with Jeffree Star, his biggest client, was to make a half-assed apology to Trisha Paytas. So he did it. Begrudgingly, but he did it. So do I think that Trisha Paytas should air the podcast? Hell yes, I think she should air the podcast. It ain't going to hurt Trisha at all. It's going to hurt Jeffree Star. But it's also going to show us how fake these two people really are, okay? People that have thought Trisha's fake for years, you're going to see it, okay? Because if it was anybody else, Trisha Paytas has gone off on so many people online, all right? Jeffree Star and Hair by Jay are two of the people. I mean, he ruined friendships for her. If Trisha Paytas really said what I would live for her to get on that podcast and be like, you know what, Jeffree? Like, you did some really, irredeemable shit to me, okay? And yeah, I wasn't in my right mind, but you need to own some of that shit, Jeffree. I would live for her to say that, but she won't. We'll see how fake Trisha is, and 100 times we'll see how fake Jeffree Star is on this, because he can't be real. I've said that since the inception of making Jeffree Star videos, okay? The man cannot be real. I have never, when I talk to him on the phone, in a video, he's always like, yes, girl, yeah. I mean, I've never seen a real moment from that man, and never, okay? Never have I seen a real authentic moment from that man. He's always on character affected, because he's so insecure about who he truly is that he can never for 1 second just be himself. If he let down that guard a little bit and just talk to his audience like who he is, people would live for it, okay? That's who people want to see today. People don't want to see this bullshit, They don't. So, I don't know. I think she should post the podcast. One, because I want to see what he has to say on there. But he ain't going to take a whole lot of ownership. We already know what he's going to do. He didn't take any ownership over shit on the Tana Mongeau podcast. And Tana Mongeau backed him up on that. Backed him up on it. Tana Mongeau had no problem with Jeffree Star saying that Toddy Westbrook was a horrible person and didn't back it up at all. And Tana Mongeau was completely fine with him speaking about another woman that way on her podcast, okay? What did Toddy Westbrook do to Jeffree Star that made her a horrible person? I think to say about you're a horrible person about somebody, I think if Jeffree Star had been really real in that moment, what he would have said was, you know what, Toddy was way over her head. She got caught up in a lot of shit she wasn't prepared to get caught up in. And yeah, we did have some conversations with her. Shane and I did talk to her. No, we didn't force her hand. She was a grown adult. She made that video, because she did, okay? But yeah, we talked to her about it, and she was way over her head. She was way over her head with the James Charles situation, and with Shane and I, she didn't know what she was doing. She should have just stuck to doing her little dupes videos. And the best CVS, she should have stuck to that. But she didn't. Because she was ate up with, she wanted to get famous. She wanted to sell those pills. She wanted to make a lot of money. And Toddy would probably admit that. In that moment, I did. And I got caught up with some shit that I shouldn't have got caught up with. But no, instead of him being honest, he calls her a horrible person. See, I don't respect that. I don't respect when you have the opportunity to kind of tell how it all went down. You want to continue to paint this picture of something that isn't true, how it is? Girl, sing it to another choir, okay? Because I am so bored of hearing that song. you know? But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Oh, by the way, if you want to buy his 10th anniversary, like I always say over here, watch who you want to watch. You want to watch Jeffree Star, Toddy Westbrook, Michaela Nogueira, James Star. You got to watch who you want to watch. But if you want to know, it's releasing on Black Friday. And he has on here, can you guess the name of the new Jeffree Star 10th anniversary collection? I don't know. Should we all put our guesses in the comment section below? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.